In the world of law, the concept of criminal responsibility is a complex and highly debated issue. One particular area of debate is whether it is just to hold someone responsible for a crime they committed unknowingly or unintentionally. While some argue that a lack of intent should absolve an individual of guilt, others maintain that responsibility should still be assigned based on the harm caused. The idea of criminal responsibility is rooted in the principle of mens rea, or guilty mind. This principle suggests that a person must have had a criminal intention or knowledge of wrongdoing in order to be held responsible for a crime. However, not all crimes require mens rea. Some are considered strict liability offenses, meaning that the prosecution only needs to prove that the accused committed the act in question, regardless of intent. In cases where mens rea is required, the defendant's state of mind at the time of the offense is crucial. For example, if a person accidentally injures someone while performing an otherwise legal act, they may not be held criminally responsible. On the other hand, if a person acts recklessly and causes harm, they may be held responsible for their actions. However, there are situations where criminal responsibility is assigned even when the defendant did not intend to commit a crime. This is often seen in cases where the defendant should have known that their actions would result in harm. For example, if a person drives drunk and causes an accident, they may be held responsible for the harm caused, even if they did not intend to cause the accident. Another factor to consider in cases of unintentional crimes is whether the defendant should have taken reasonable steps to prevent the harm. For example, if a parent leaves a loaded gun within reach of a child who then shoots someone, the parent may be held responsible for their negligence in securing the firearm. Ultimately, the question of whether it is just to hold someone responsible for an unintentional crime depends on the specific circumstances of the case. While mens rea is an important principle in criminal law, it is not always the only factor to consider. In cases where harm has been caused, it may be necessary to assign responsibility in order to provide justice to the victim and prevent future harm from occurring. In conclusion, criminal responsibility is a complex issue that requires careful consideration of the circumstances of each case. While intent is an important factor to consider, it is not always the only factor. In cases of unintentional crimes, it may still be just to hold someone responsible if their actions caused harm and they could have reasonably taken steps to prevent it.